And also, do you want to talk about visual architecture? Because I know you're great about that.
I love visual architecture. It's one of my favorites. It's when you start farther back, or you can start. I don't really like it, but you can start up close and move backwards, or you start far away and move into a close up. It's one of the most dynamic things you can do in an audition. It's great when it works, and it just tells the story. Sometimes you're going to be lovers, and you need, like Romeo and Juliet. They need to end things for the good of their houses, and like because their parents have forbidden it, but they just are naturally drawn to each other and just need to be so close to each other that by the end they're there, and or they're pulling away.
Right.
It's great uses of opposites as well. Like, oh no, we shouldn't be together. No, we shouldn't be together. We shouldn't.
Right.
We?
Right. Yeah, that's yeah, it's a lot of storytelling in how you're doing it. Like there's always a push and pull. If it's like a fight scene or aggressive, there's usually one person getting in someone's face and there might be someone backing off, or it's two people getting in their faces. And at certain points when they're winning or losing, or when an event happens in the scene, someone drops a bomb, person has a discovery that changes everything, they might be taken aback. Someone pulls out a gun in a scene. That visual, like if you're not a gun guy and you don't have a gun and that threatens you, someone pulls out a gun, the second that's out, it's whoa, backing off. Or maybe it's the opposite, and you're a wild man with a lot of mischief and a lot of gameplay and role play. Someone pulls out the gun, and it's one of those scenes where someone grabs the gun and is like, "Oh yeah, shoot me, motherfucker," and you get closer to it. So it's, again, you got to ask yourself, what's the story you're telling?
Yeah.
The other thing, though, is there's a practical reason in your auditions is if you can show them a wide, something with a little more physicality, they get to see your whole body. They get to maybe see some more dynamic movement, something big physically. And then if you get to a point where you can land in a close-up, boom, just dead still, you can't be moving around. Then you also show them that maybe you have some camera technique and that you understand frame and lens, and you understand what you can and can't do in a close versus what you can and can't do in a wide. It's just more interesting to look at too. And the thing is, you'll always see in a breakdown, in a self-tape breakdown, you'll see shoot in a medium or shoot in a medium close. Great. Follow those directions so that for most of the audition, you get that, or make sure at some point you're in a medium to a medium close. But that doesn't mean don't ever not be in a medium close or else. Like that's not, and even if it did mean that, you're the creator of the audition. It's your performance. So if someone were to be like, unless they've hired me and paid me to be there, if someone says, no, you stand here and this whole thing is in a medium and don't fucking move, then yeah, okay, you're the director, you booked me for the job. But the audition is my creation. The audition is my story. So I get to say that when I'm in a close up, when I'm in a wide. Yeah, give them the medium when they need the medium. Or maybe if there was notes, it is absolutely critical. We've got a director's note that the entire audition must absolutely be in a close-up. Do not move. We can't see anything but your head. And still a little bit of me in that situation would be like, at the end, I'm going to back out into a wide and do a little dance, or I'm going to dance my way into it and then land in that. Because the other thing, some of this is the reality is not that you really want to stand out just to stand out, but there's a little bit of you that you want to stand out. So if they're seeing static shot after static shot after static shot after static shot of a guy just standing there talking, versus something dynamic and some movement, that's a huge difference. And it's going to be a pattern interrupt. It's going to stop the scroll, to use social media terms, and casting directors, producers, directors looking at one after the other, hearing the same words over and over again 50 to 100 times, and then, oh, this is a little different. This guy's doing something different. So it's just more fun to just think about it. And if you question that, and if you I don't know if I can do that, it seems risky, just ask yourself, what do you like to watch? what do you like to watch? How much of your attention is going to be held by someone who's never moving, and it's just always the same, and it's just 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 the same. At some point, you'll be like, okay, I get it, and you're swiping on to the next one. So architecture and story, visual architecture. Look at openings and closings. There's the psychological effect called primacy effect and recency effect, which basically means we remember the first impression, the first thing, and we remember the last thing, and then the middle is kind of the middle. So that's we don't really remember all that. That's why sometimes if you watch, you go to a stand-up comedy show and there's 10 people on the show, you'll a little bit more, you'll remember the first person and the last person, because that's just how our brains work, and the middle's kind of the middle. So really put extra focus on nailing that opening beat, making sure from the get-go you start strong, you're not warming up to it or warming into it, and then making sure that you have something really strong at the end. Often people will be in a rush to leave frame at the end, and often we're coaching people onto there's no reason to leave. No one got cast because they're like, man, did you see how well he left frame? There's exceptions, maybe how you leave or a last look as you leave that adds to the story. But if it's just turn and walk out, why not stay there and just hold the last moment, hold in a close up, add a little button, add a little extra line, get an extra look, watch them walk away. I mean, you think about TV, most TV scenes, it'd be two people talking, walk and talk, have a conversation, and then one person leaves, and then they hold on one person to see how they really thought about things and a little of their afterthought. Maybe they were playing nice the whole time. The person walks away, and it's like, fucking guy. You know, you just get that little after moment. So be very intentional with your beginnings and with your endings. And that's Guidepost 15. That's the end of it. So